Hey, this is Miracle Max. Welcome to Rise of Civilizations. This is the January 22nd, 2019 update. And guess what, guys? We have 6 new commanders. So, this video will be a quick review of all 6. And then, what I'm planning to do is use all the keys I've been saving up on all 3 of my accounts and see how many of them we can unlock and get going in the game. All right, so first off, we have Constantine the First, and he is from the new kingdom, or I'm sorry, the new civilization, Byzantium. Um, he is a legendary level commander, and it looks like we've got 4 skills to look at, so let's see what they are. All right, the first skill is the Edict of Milan. This is an active skill. Rage requirement. For the next 5 seconds, decreases target's attack by 20% and increase troops damage reduction by 3% in your army and nearby friendly. Now, I always like it when it says nearby because that means it is casting a spell that covers an area of effect type of skill. So this is similar to Joan of Arc and Cleopatra, who have area of effect healings. Attack reduction starts at 20%, goes up to 40, and damage reduction starts at 3% and goes up to 10%. And real quick, Constantine is infantry, garrison, and support. So we already have quite a few garrison legendary commanders, but I will say this is our first support um, legendary commander. The only support commanders, or I'm sorry, not the first legendary, but one of only 4 now support commanders in the game. And those 4 are Joan of Arc, Cleopatra, Lohar, and now Constantine. So this tells me that this guy is going to be strong defensively to help out. And this may be my new support commander out on the battlefield. We'll see how that works. Support commander is leads a secondary army. It is not a secondary commander, but leads a second army that is there to support your main army. And your main army may be your heavy damage dealers. Maybe you are using someone like Minamoto with another nuker as his backing. And this commander's job is to support Minamoto to keep him alive longer. All right, let's see what his second skill is. Second skill increases health of infantry. Because he's an infantry, that makes sense, 15 to 40%. Third skill, increase the attack of garrison and watchtower. And we do have quite a few garrisons, so just looking at his talents with support, that's how I'm going to build him. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not going to care about the infantry or the garrison. Um, Passive skill, when troop units are below 50%, gives a powerful treatment healing factor of 7,500. And that is way bigger um, than any that I've ever seen. But here's the interesting part, which can only be triggered once per hour after the troop left the city. So once per hour. um, that is a brand new way to look at it. If we think about our other healing commanders, and I'll just scroll up real quick and we'll look at Cleopatra, who's, let's see, where's her healing skills? Her first skill, um, this activates every time your rage reaches 1,000, healing factor of 400. Um, I think that is her only healing skill, but that is once every 10 turns, so once every 10 seconds. Joan of Arc is up here, and her healing with the boost. Um, I'm sorry, her healing is her first skill. Oh no, that's her buff. Healing, there it is. Healing units, heal factor of 450. So I will say that while Constantine, that once an hour, I'm not sure how that's going to play in. Um, that boost of 7,500 was just huge. Um, and so, sorry, I'm having trouble finding it again. Troop units are below 50%. 15,000 healing factor. Um, Very powerful. I don't know how that will play in the game if it's only a once per hour thing. So we'll just have to Have to look at that more. And then his fifth skill, which unlocks after all the other ones are maxed out, increases troop attack by 25% and defense by 5%. All right, so there's Constantine. Let's move past Yi Sang-yi and Hannibal and take a look at Saladin. Saladin is cavalry, conquering, and support. It's interesting that we have two new support, and maybe we should just check real quick. Mehmed isn't support. Mobility, peacekeeping. Sorry, I just need to make sure because two new support. I guess they were seeing a need for that in the game. All right, so back to Saladin. Cavalry, conquering, and support. So conquering is a skill that we have in our big guys, like Julius Caesar is a conqueror. We've had several cavalry, but let's see what his skills tells us. Skill 1 deals direct damage up to 1400, reduces its march speed, decreases its healing effects. So both a powerful punch and a reduction of ability on the enemy. That's pretty good. His cavalry skill increases attack and defense and march speed. Defense of 20%, attack by 20, and cavalry march speed by 5. Now that's quite a bit higher than Minamoto. Minamoto was 10% attack, I believe, and 10% march, but we can run on up and take a look at him. There he is. His cavalry, yeah, 10% march and 20% attack. So where this guy has the bonus is he actually has the 20% defense on top of that. So that's okay. So he is definitely a really strong cavalry unit with that defense added in. Now the one thing is his march speed is only 5%, which is half of what Minamoto had, so that's something to think about. And that doesn't move as fast, but can defend himself better. Third skill, skill damage taken from an enemy reduced by 20%, counterattack. So again, he has a good defense built into him, where Minamoto is definitely all attack, all skill, all nuker. Saladin has defense also. Increased damage to garrison, but unable to plunder resources by attacking other governor cities. Now, there was a hint to this in the introduction on the Facebook page of Rise of Civilization. So that's interesting. So this is they call him a high moral leader, where he will do greater damage to the cities, but he is not going to steal for you. So really interesting skill, interesting way to put it together. And his expertise is just an increase of the first skill, increases the direct damage and increases the reduction of march speed and healing effects. All right, so some pretty good skills there. I'm going to cover the third legendary here, and then I'm going to cut this video. Maybe I'll let it run. I'll try and speed up a bit. I don't want this to be too long. All right, Mehmed II is our Ottoman. He's known as the Ruthless Conqueror. He has leadership, conquering, and skill. We have many with leadership, many with conquering, but leader, conquering, and skill is a different combination for us. So skill is the old nuker. So let's see what we've got. Rage, active skill, deals damage in a forward-facing fan-shaped area. So we have an area of effect legendary commander, which is huge. Right now in the game, the only other legendary commander with an area of effect is Yi Sang-yi, and he hasn't been released in most kingdoms yet. So to have one that we can get right now, that's pretty exciting. Area of effect means that it's attacking more than one group at the same time. So if you think about on expeditions, when you're attacking 5 groups of enemies, his active skill, that rage that happens when the little dots fill up on the side, is going to attack up to 5 targets within that fan shaped area. The skill also deals additional damage to city garrisons and watchtowers, so it's bumped up for facing multiple armies and bumped up for hitting cities. Alright, second skill, increased troop attack by 8 and skill damage by 10%. That's actually a pretty good boost, especially if you max that to 30%. So real strong attacker there. Third skill, when attacking a city, normal attack has a 10% chance to cause additional damage. So we already covered that. He does get bonuses for attacking cities. Increase troop capacity and increase rally capacity. And last skill is a bump on his first skill again. Increases the damage factor on both. Alright, so I'm kind of excited by him. Like I said, this area of effect is a huge bonus. Alright, so that was our 3 legendary. Let's take a look at the epic and see what we have. Alright, our first epic is Belisarius by Zantium. He's cavalry, peacekeeping, and mobility. Alright, so we have a new peacekeeper in the game. Your current peacekeepers are Lohar, Boudica, and I think they took it away from, that's not who I was looking for, sorry. Cao Cao is still a peacekeeper, and he's cavalry mobility, so that's the exact same match there. And Minamoto is cavalry peacekeeping and skill. So it looks like this guy, cavalry peacekeeping and mobility, is exactly the same thing as Cao Cao, but in an epic commander. Alright, so let's take a look at his skills. Decrease damage of the target by 10% and defense by 10%. For the next two, sorry about the pop-up messages, this is just the way it goes. So decrease damage and defense, and also deals massive damage. So where Cao Cao's first skill is pure, and so I've got to compare the two because they both have the same. Cao Cao is also direct damage 1400, attack reduction 40, march speed 10. Attack reduction. So this has attack defense reduction instead of march speed reduction, and then direct damage. So pretty interesting to compare those two. I'll have to do that more in depth. Okay, increased damage dealt to barbarians up to 35%, so that's in line with where Boudica is. That's his peacekeeper. Let's see, increased defense of cavalry by 5%, increased march speed by 10%, but that's at the minimum level. At the maximum, cavalry defense bonus 15 and march speed 25. And that is above what we have available in our current epic cavalry. Gives us 10% attack, 10% defense. So this is a much better cavalry than Pelagius, which makes me pretty excited there. Sorry, third skill. Yeah, quite a bit better. And the march speed is huge. You know, when people are out on the field attacking cavalry with cavalry, it is the reason they're using it is because they're so much faster. And this 25% boost is well above what Pelagius offers. I want to say it's well above what Cao Cao offers. March speed max of 10%. 10% for Dragon Lancer, and our last cavalry is only 5%. So that is the largest march speed bonus that we're going to see. Very impressive. Alright, when targeted army has been reduced to less than 50%, increased damage dealt. That's alright. And the final one, again, is our bump of the first one. Increased defensive cavalry units by 15%, increases march speed by 25% for 10 seconds after exiting a battle, and with expertise. So this has a huge runaway feature too. So alright, just so you know, I'm going to be putting a lot of sculptures into this guy. I want to get him up and moving as quick as I can. Alright, Baibars. Alright, Baibars, cavalry, conquering, and skill. Interesting that we've got all these new cavalry commanders coming into the game. Real quick peek at his skills. Direct damage in a fan-shaped area again. So maximum 3 targets. But again, another area of effect commander. Our only 2 epic area of effects are Kusunoki Masashige and Sun Tzu. So those are the two that we would compare him against. And again, I'm going to have to go way more in depth in a different video to see what happens. But that's who he's compared against because of his area of effect damage. Increased cavalry attack by up to 20%. Pretty small. Um, I, I wouldn't use him for cities anyway, but there's his garrison defense and attack. Um, Passive skill after exiting the battle not routed, so you can't lose. A portion of slightly wounded units will be healed, and march speed will increase by 20% for 10 seconds. So this is again a bonus if you're using him to attack other troops. This lets you move on from army to army to army really fast, especially at march speed bonus of 50%. So the game is counting on us all going all cavalry based on what I'm seeing here. All right, and his last skill, which is the boost of the first one, raises the damage factor and increases the number of units. Now, on his first skill, his fan shape hit a maximum of 3 targets. By bumping up the expertise, it's actually going to 5 targets, and increasing the march speed, or increasing the reduction of march speed by 50%. All right, one more new commander to look at, Osman. Osman is leadership, conquering, and skill. So leadership and conquering puts him in the same area as good old Scipio, right? Scipio is leader, conquering, and attack. So very similar to Scipio. So we'll do a side-by-side comparison of him to Scipio coming up. But let's just go real quick through his skills. Massive damage factor is his first one, 850. Increased troop attack for 120 seconds after attacking cities for more than 30 seconds. So in really long battles, he's giving you a bonus. After an active skill is used, deals additional damage to the target on the next turn. So you kind of have a build-up factor here. That'll be interesting. Troop capacity, that would be normal with a leadership. And an increased damage up to 1100. All right, so that's all 6 new commanders. A whole lot of information, a whole lot to learn, a whole lot of comparisons to do. And so I'm going to end the video there. And just know I'm going to have to do some side-by-side comparisons. I tried to include who I thought they were most alike. And what I'm going to do now is end the video, sign off, sign right back on, and have a key opening party, and let's see how many of these I can unlock. All right, I will be releasing a whole lot of videos really fast with this new update, so please subscribe so you don't miss any of them. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this and learning with me. I haven't seen any of this information prior to today. The only sneak peek I got was what you all saw on Facebook when they introduced the civilizations. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did like the video, please subscribe and leave any comments, anything you'd like me to cover. Maybe I said something that you disagree with, or I said something that you'd really like to hear more about. I promise I'll read it and get back to you with the information. All right, thanks so much. Have a great day.